Culture editor Jade Barker. Jade, hello. You've been speaking to a jazz legend today, but for many, his family name may ring a bell because of his brother.
That's right. Freddy Cole came in the studio to talk to me. Now, he's the brother of Nat King Cole, who I'm sure many people would recognise. Now, Freddy himself is 82 years old now, and he's been a vocalist and a pianist and been playing jazz for more than 5 decades. He comes from a very musical family. Besides his brother, he's got another brother, Ike Cole, who was also a musician, and so was his father. He grew up surrounded by some of the most iconic figures in jazz history. Started playing the piano when he was just 5 years old and went on to study music. So you really could say that music was in his blood. But although he was singing and performing for decades, he really only achieved commercial success in the 1990s. And he, of course, had to live under the shadow of being Nat King Cole's brother, this great iconic figure that everyone knew so well. And he struggled to find his own niche in the jazz scene. But I asked him whether, he ever felt envious of his brother or if there was any rivalry between them, and he said, no, not at all. This is what he had to say.
No rivalry. He was such a big star when I got into business, Now, my father told us that every tub has its own bottom. So you live on yours and I live on mine, That's just the way we looked at it, just the way I still look at it. I have no reason to be envious of anything.
You can catch my full interview with Freddy Cole at 17:15 today, Paris time.
Okay, let's move from music to movies now. The amazing Spiderman 2 premiered in London last night. It doesn't hit cinema screens here in France until the end of the month. So what can we expect?
Well, it seems the return of Andrew Garfield as the web-slinging superhero who wants to solve the mystery behind his parents' death. He also has to make a decision whether he continues his on-off relationship with Gwen Stacy, which is played by Emma Stone. But as he strives to maintain the peace in New York, he comes up against an inevitable baddies. One of them is Jamie Foxx, who plays Matt Dillon, a Spider-Man fan who then becomes a sort of baddie, not of his own desire, but he has a nasty encounter with some electric eels and is transformed into Electro. Let's take a look now at the trailer.
Remember me?
Of course I remember you. You have my eyes and ears. What's your name again? Oh, I do. I know it. Don't tell me.
It's Max.
Is it Max?
Yes. How could you forget me? You lied to me.
No, I'm trying to help you. Let me help you.
Eelman versus Spider-Man. That's a lot of makeup there on Jamie Foxx to turn him blue. What did the stars have to say about the preparations for their character?
Well, I think it's really the actors who make this film. Andrew Garfield is really convincing as a perfect mixture of geeky, sexy, and funny. The film itself has been criticised as being really long. It's 2.5 hours almost long in length and having an overcomplicated plot. But Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone are actually a real-life couple, so I don't think they needed to put on too much of an act for the on-screen chemistry. Jamie Foxx, though, did mention that it was a bit of an effort getting into his character every day. Let's take a listen to what he had to say on the red carpet in London last night.
About 4.5 hours a day, yeah, but I mean, it's worth it, because once you get it on, you actually turn into Electro.
I think it's important to feel like Spider-Man if I'm going to try and be Spider-Man, so I hate it. I don't like being in the gym, but I enjoy the results.
It's kind of a little bit of a Romeo and Juliet story, at least a one-sided Romeo and Juliet story. So I loved the passion of it and the tragedy of it, and yeah, I just think it's a pretty beautiful love story between the two of them.
Well, some of the cast and crew are actually heading over here to Paris today, and I'm going to be catching up with them later this evening, Jamie Foxx and the director Mark Webb, so perhaps I have a bit more gossip to tell you next time.
You lucky lady, definitely want to hear that. Okay, something completely different now. There's a new book out that features the unlikely combination of cats and metal musicians. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it's called Metal Cats, and it combines the extreme personalities of metal musicians with their adorable kitties. Now, it's definitely not something that you would think would be combined. It's not something you think of when you think of metal as cute and fluffy felines, but they've been photographed with their owners, as you can see here, in their homes, and also fans of the metal musicians. And it's trying to show that while the music may be brutal, the people in the scene are softies at heart. A portion of the proceeds are going to go towards an animal shelter, and there's also going to be a series of benefit shows toured around the US West Coast. So there you go.
Meow. The softer side to hard rock. I like
Exactly.
it. Thank you very much, Jade, for that. And it's time now for our sports update, starting off with golf and the Augusta Masters.
High temperatures and a swirling